We are 45 seconds from ignition.
Radio.
30 seconds. Stand by.
Yep. Radio.
15 seconds. Stand by. Lights, sound, and cameras.
Radio.
5 seconds to live queue open and talent in 2.
It's Freedom Friday, shout hooray. Bradley J's got the mic today. Producer Ron tries, oh he sways to be less gay. Just one more day. Phil Bell's groove and freedom's his jam. Big Gretsch dreams, but we don't give a damn. Oh, freedom, sweet freedom. Ring that bell from the hills to the cities. We all yell, oh, sweet freedom. Can't you see? We're jamming for the red, white, and the free, Phil's our brother, he's the real deal. Loves his country, that's the appeal. Big ideas, big heart, big will, rolling strong with the freedom zeal. Ron's clapping, Bradley's snapping, Phil's laughing, flags are flapping, stars and stripes, we're all high-fiving. Freedom's vibe, it keeps us thriving. Yeah.
Welcome to Freedom Friday here on the Daily Mojo. It's another day of fabulousness and freedom and stuff. And the long national nightmare is over on a couple of fronts. Number one, we can actually, I say the long national nightmare is over. But let's see. We can now officially, or actually Buffalo Wild Wings can now officially keep boneless chicken wings on the menu. Thank goodness.
Were they going to take them off?
This one.
What?
Well, the ruling, the federal judge weighed in on Tuesday in a lawsuit against Buffalo Wild Wings. U.S. District Judge John Tharp in Illinois said the sports bar franchise can continue to call its popular menu item boneless wings, even though they are essentially chicken nuggets, because they're not boneless wings.
Are any boneless wings ever really boneless wings?
You'd have to sample every different kind of boneless wing to find that
they're
out.
Chicken nuggets.
Ayman Halim filed a lawsuit in March 23, claiming violations of the Illinois Consumer Fraud Act over Buffalo Wild Wings, calling them boneless wings instead of chicken nuggets. What did this guy want?
What
Halim
exactly?
did not drum up enough factual allegations to state a claim, though he has standing to bring the claim because he plausibly alleged economic injury.
Somebody needs to slap this dude.
This is the problem with the legal system, is that we're filled up with crap like this, and the serious stuff. Does this guy have a history? It's that guy. It's that guy. It is. It's this guy. It's the guy who I've seen him before, and
has a history of janky ass lawsuits.
It's that guy.
Oh,
right?
Good Lord!
Isn't that the guy? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's him. Yeah, Nebraska. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that is the dude. Does he live in Lincoln? Could there be two people out there that have sued Buffalo Wild Wings? I mean, it is America.
But they're not the only place that calls them boneless wings.
What is he trying to what is he trying to get at? What does this guy want? He said the boneless wings name is fraudulent because they are essentially chicken. Well, they are chicken nuggets, which is, never bothered me.
It's a marketing name, for Pete's sake.
If he claimed that if he had known that they were not deboned wings, he would have paid less or not ordered them. Buffalo Wild Wings said context makes it clear that they are nuggets, not made of wing meat, and that the wing portion of the name is the style of cooking instead. Halim had tried to bring a nationwide class action suit over the chicken debate. This is a perfect example of somebody who should. This is why there should be in tort reform. If you bring a frivolous lawsuit and you lose, you should have to pay. There should be some sort of a penalty on you. The court ruled that the boneless wing is a fanciful name and that no reasonable customer would have thought that they were getting a deboned wing reconstituted into some sort of Frankenwing. He likened it to chicken fingers not being made of fingers. Good point. Do chickens have lips?
No, they have beaks.
Okay, you say so. He wrote, despite his best efforts, Halim did not drum up enough factual allegations, and then the judge actually did put that into the ruling. So he did have a sense of humor about it. Tharp also said the complaint had no meat on its bones. He noted the restaurant also sells cauliflower wings as a chicken alternative. If Halim is right, reasonable consumers should think that cauliflower wings are made, at least in part, from wing meat. They don't, though, because normal people don't think about stupid crap like that. Although you may make a comment one night when you're there with friends and you're like, hey, these are really wings. These are, they're more like chicken nuggets. Because have you ever tried to eat the wings off a chicken after it's dead, of course? And cooked? No. There's not much meat there. Very little meat. As a matter of fact, when you get a Costco chicken, it's like, is it really worth? Because the first thing I do with a Costco chicken is rip that thing to shreds. Little tiny, teeny piece and put them all in one little bucket, and that way you don't have to worry about.
That's what Misty does, but she separates the white from the dark meat because she doesn't eat dark meat. I do, but she doesn't. I know. Just okay. Move on.
I didn't bring it up. You did.
Because I look on your face.
Just saying. But I put them all in the one container, and that way, whenever you want some chicken, you just go to the chicken container,
yep,
and you get your chicken. And I do not segregate. I leave it all in one and let them fight it out.
Do you leave the drumsticks whole?
No,
I do. Come on,
why?
Got to eat the meat off. And
you're missing the whole point of cutting all the chicken meat off. The whole idea is just not to have to worry, just picking chicken out of it and eating it straight out of the thing, and not having to worry about doing any of the work.
Yeah,
not my dog sounds racist. Right? Just saying. See if you are in one of the chat rooms. Thank you for joining us this morning. If you are listening after the fact, after the live stream, you can join us live any weekday morning from 7 until 9 Central Time, 8 until 10 Eastern Time. And Hobo Joe says, did you see that William Shatner is doing a heavy metal album? I didn't, but I did see a picture of William Shatner, I think with Weird Al.
I did see that. I saw that.
Okay, so that was Weird Al. I didn't have a fever dream. Where did I see that posted?
That was on X yesterday, I think. That's where I saw it.
Is that what it was? Yeah. I think it was in a Star Trek forum because I think that was this morning. I was in a Star Trek forum trying to gather intel on what everybody thought about the latest episode of Starfleet Academy last night. You're loving the show more and more.
No, that episode went way beyond what I.
That was the episode that.
Yeah, it was. Now, don't get me wrong.
Up until this point, you were defending it.
I was until last night.
What didn't you like about Starfleet Academy last night?
They're getting a little more blatant with the gay Klingon thing. They'd been bouncing around it for a little while. But yesterday or last night they
wait. When you say they've been bouncing around it for a little while, you don't think that the last episode last week when what's Jay Den's boyfriend's name? Kyle. You didn't think that they were like over the top then with him, like, but that's going to leave a scar.
Yeah, but he didn't kiss him until last night. He didn't.
Did I miss the kiss?
Yeah, you did. If you didn't see it, you did.
Wow. My brain bleach must be really good because I don't remember seeing that.
Yeah.
I must have looked away. So
it's getting a little more in your face now. And I thought, don't get me wrong, I thought Jaden was going to wind up kissing the dude, the Kionian dude. They got close a couple of times, and I'm like, please don't.
Mr. Fish?
Yeah, Mr. Fish.
They are hell-bent on destroying the Star Trek legacy. They are hell-bent, and it's Alex Kurtzman and women. And Alex Kurtzman might be a woman, for all I know. It is women that are destroying this thing. The head writer, what's her name? Gaia something.
She was the director last night, too, Gaia.
She was?
I think so. I saw that.
I thought the director's name was Emin Janian or something like that. I may be wrong, but the writers, and we heard from Roger Avery, writer of Pulp Fiction, that Alex Kurtzman, showrunner, didn't want anybody who had any sort of fondness for the original show or any of the shows for that matter, because he wanted to create something brand new, something for the modern audience. And then we hear from these new writers that they are such big fans of the original Star Trek. Which again, somebody's lying, and I'm putting my money on the female writers who are writing this slop, and maybe or maybe not with the help of ChatGPT, but they're taking every piece of Star Trek lore, turning it upside down, throwing it on the floor, stomping on it, and then setting it on fire. And if that wasn't enough, they're putting a noose around its neck and hanging it. And they're doing this for God knows why. I don't know what the end plan is. Is it just the total emasculation of men? Do these women want to go live in some Amazon society? Is that what they want? But did you find the director?
Yeah. So last night it was Andy Armaganian. But I did remember seeing Gaia.
I thought his name sounded like an alien, which is why I remembered his name.
Yeah.
He sounded like he came from the planet Armangia or something like that. But he is the writer, and the writer last night, one of the writers is a guy, but Dark Magneto, thank you for the tip. Can't watch that show, never will. Starfleet Academy is not Star Trek and sucks. I'll tell you what is far more entertaining than the actual show are the reviews by Disparu and by Critical Drinker and Nerdrotic, is it JD Talks Trek? JDA Talks Trek, and the guy I'm going to be talking to later today. He is the science fiction author John Delarose, and he was challenged by the holographic doctor, to write something better, and he's done that.
By the way, Alex Taub and Eric Anthony Glover.
Eric Anthony Glover is the guy that I'm referring to. He is gayer than a $3 bill or an Easter basket. Eric, what's his name? Eric Anthony Glover. He is his IMDb, and where's the picture of Eric? Because and not that there's anything wrong with being gay, but try not everything you write, try not injecting it into everything. And a great point made by Disparu in that the Klingon Jaden didn't want to give the. Let me see if I can find a. There's Eric Anthony Glover. Jaden didn't want to give the best man speech to for Fish Guy's
You're good.
wedding. He didn't want to give the because he was afraid that he would freeze up. Even though, was it last week or the week before when they did the public speaking thing? Yeah. He got past that.
Yeah,
that's the whole point of that episode, was he got past his fear of public speaking. So, not really sure. It's like, what, do you not do when you get together in the writer's room to plan these things out? Don't you go, I was going to have him afraid of public speaking in this one. Well, no, we solved that 2 episodes ago. Don't they have the big board that you see in every...
with all the Post-it notes on it? Yeah.
Right. So that you can see all the character art. Hell, I've never written for television, but even I know that you've got to keep track of what happens in each episode so that you build on what your characters... That's the heart of any good storytelling. You got to build the character arc and know what he's doing. And I'm distracting me at this point. You have to be able to understand why the character is doing what the character is doing. And so it makes no sense. Take all the gay crap out of it. It doesn't make any sense for what these characters are doing because it's such horrible writing, because the writers that they've hired aren't necessarily good writers. It's just that they've checked off a box. In this case, gay. Oh, and black. So good for you. You've got a gay black man on your staff, and he's writing Star Trek that is basically unintelligible.
Oh, no. I noticed last night that what they did last night on that episode was they gave everybody time off, because there were literally, 5 or 6 characters in the whole damn show last night.
I forgot about that. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, because it was
because they were traumatized on the Miyazaki. Yeah, because they had this training exercise where some people died. You're in the freaking military. Guess
space.
What? People are going to die. It's going to happen. If you can't handle being around death, you probably don't have any place being in Starfleet. Because that's the job. It's a branch of the military. It's a branch of the Navy, technically. And you don't, if you can't handle, so they need trauma? They need trauma therapy?
Well, no, they were on all, they
all World's Day. But remember, right after the episode last week, it was like trauma counselors will be available.
Yes, yeah.
And then the chick who screamed in space.
Tarima. Yeah, she wasn't even in last night's episode.
No, because she was in a coma, and it gave dude who was built like a brick shithouse. Yeah. Hell, I'm not gay, and I'm like, dude is all right.
Well, yeah, they showed you all of that last night.
Yeah, he was out there sunbathing in the promenade, and he's got some excellent deltoids.
Yeah.
And his pecs are nice, too. I'm just saying. Look, I can appreciate a decent male form like the next guy. And he looks good. I don't know if he's on the roids or not, but he looks good. And Genesis, the chick, I don't even know what she is. She's got a funny-looking forehead.
Yeah.
But he was almost dipping into that ink well.
I thought he was going to.
So...
It was close a couple of times.
The funny thing is the fish guy is the one with the most morals, because he was trying to do the honorable thing and go back and fulfill his commitment to being married to Princess What's-Her-Name and go on to rule the fish people. But Jaden goes and reminds him of, hey, you've got to come back.
In his
Starfleet
public
Academy.
speaking mode, Jaden reminds him.
Right.
Yeah.
So they almost kiss 18 times. Yeah. It's just so it's so in your face and irritating.
Yet we're watching.
And yet it's like a traffic accident.
Yes.
Well, here's the reason, because
that's
I care about the property. I give a damn about the property. And number 2, it's therapy for me. Number 3, part of my job is to bring the information to you and to discuss it in some relatively intellectual way while making fun of all members involved. And also to try to change in some small way the culture, because this is the problem. you know it as well as I do, culture is upstream of news. If you get crap culture, you're going to end up with bad stuff happening. If you these police academy rejects that are in Starfleet, Ron tried to defend them and said, well, it's after the burn, so they don't have very... The burn didn't cut down on the number of people in the universe. It just prevented people from going places. At least the way I understand the burn, which I'm not even really sure exactly what happened and why it happened.
Remember, it killed all the ships blew up. So it killed a lot of people.
Okay, so the people that were on the ships, but that didn't, it didn't affect the population of the universe to an appreciable degree. Because how many people could be on ships at any given point?
Yeah.
Were they all, so you're sure the burn killed everybody who was on a ship?
Yeah, all the ships blew up because they had dilithium crystals. That was the whole thing.
Where did, so the ships that exist now in the universe, where they built them in the past 100 years?
I would assume so. That's the assumption because of the, yeah.
Oh, that's the other thing. These ships, I get that it's science fiction. Half of that term, science. Sorry if I get animated, that appears to be when I piss off the machine here. I'll try not to be so animated. But all of these ships, somebody there has a boner for literal disjointedness. There are the parts and pieces of all of the spaceships in this show aren't connected. There is air between them all. That's like a thing. So when what was the ship that came to rescue them last week from the space station?
Excelsior?
Something. No.
Oh.
It was the hell was it? Came from the space station. It was, shoot. Can you look that up?
Yeah.
And when you see it, and this the same with the Venari Roll spaceships, they're not connected. It's like these pieces of, sorry, I got animated. These pieces of spaceship are like all floating in space near each other, but they're not actually connected. And I guess that they had some meeting where they decided, okay, here in this future, we have this design element where it's like mid-century modern, but this is futuristic disjointedness where nothing really has to be touching each other. It's just held in place by a force field, which makes getting around on the ship, I would think, a bit difficult. It's like having the bathroom in your house floating above your house.
Was it the Athena?
Nope, that's the one that they're on.
Okay.
It's the one that flew in with theoretically the sonic weapon on it.
Yeah, I'm looking for it.
And then it got blown up. But when it flies in, you can see that it's not connected. None of the pieces and parts are connected. And the Athena is the same way. None of the warp drive engine.
The Sargasso.
That's it. Sargasso. They are not connected. Let's see if I can find a picture of it. Sargasso. Sorry, why does it sound like a fart? Sargasso ship.
USS Sargasso.
Well, I'm hoping that there's only one Sargasso. Well, no, I guess there are more than. Oh, there it is. Right there. All right. So you see how the little saucer section there is like hovering above this part? See, you can see the shadow. There's nothing connecting the two together. And then the little warp drive engines out here are just floating in space too. Which, that's personal taste. Again, maybe in the future they found a way to do that. But it seems to be if you want to get from the saucer section down to the main hull, I guess you have to beam there or do a spacewalk. And Dr. McCoy would not like that because he hated the transporter. So, Wade Robertson, hold on a second. There's money in there. $1. I swear you talk about gay truck just to annoy half the audience, especially that one guy. It's possible. But again, what I have is an expensive hobby. And I'm going to do my hobby my way. The Discovery refit had the separate parts close together, Dark Magneto. Okay, so I never got past season 2, I think, of Discovery. It went down that road. What is it that the original Star Trek had? What is it that drew people from every walk of life? What was it that was it the hopeful future that we all live together? And by the way, I use Star Trek Academy stuff, and Wade, you know as well as I do, you know where the dial is and you can turn the channel. But this is important, and I love you anyway. Maybe a little homo. What was it about the original Star Trek? Was it the hope for the future that we all got together?
Maybe.
Gender roles, yeah. Gender roles. This is the problem with society today. In general, is that they keep trying to force these they're forcing the square peg in the round hole thing. It's which makes me think of that meme where the designer and the person has the blocks and they try to cram them all in the same hole. I have to find that one for you because it's pretty funny. But this is what's important, and just happens to be my point of reference in the world about what needs to be fixed in society. And until we fix that, we are doomed to repeat the same stupid mistakes over and over and over and over. Like, take Trump, for instance, with Iran. Iran apparently needs their ass kicked. I don't want to go to war. But do you want to have some crazy ass dude in Iran with a nuclear weapon?
No.
And they're just crazy enough to use it. They're crazier than the Venari roll. And so if something isn't done to take care of that problem, we're going to have a bigger problem. But the people who have so engaged in their brain with TDS that it doesn't matter, what. Again, it's the curing of cancer. If Trump cures cancer, it's going to be bad because I have a right to have cancer. So you got these people now who are all, and again, I don't want a war any more than anybody else does, but someone is going to have to take care of that problem. We can't police all of the world, but in this particular instance, it's not going to be Russia. Hey, let me back that up. Putin's comment on Iran. Do you remember what he said yesterday, day before?
Yeah, everybody needs to keep calm heads yeah.
Yes. He didn't say don't do it.
Yeah.
Because he's thinking the same thing. Putin does not want Iran having a nuclear weapon either. He's just taking advantage of the, and he's like, hey, if Trump wants to go in there and take care of, I let him. Because somebody will have to, because you can't have these ideologists who are crazy as a shithouse rat running around with a weapon as powerful as what they could have. So somebody's got to do it. But with these people who are out there, people like, and maybe I'm jumping to a conclusion on Eric Anthony Glover, but I get the feeling he's probably not a Trump fan. Right?
If
I had to guess,
99% of the people working on that show are not Trump.
Right.
Fans. Yeah.
So we've got a bunch of people with TDS trying to put the message out there and affecting, with an A, it's a good look for me, affecting the viewpoint of the youths out there. And that is dangerous. That is what Hitler did that with the Hitler Youth. You catch them when they're young, and you got them for life. And that's the problem, and that's why we have to stay ahead of the culture war. By the way, this particular portion of the program is brought to you by the fine folks at protectmymojo.com. What did it?
There, yeah, the main one's frozen.
I think I'm allergic. I think the system is allergic to you, Ron.
You think that's it?
I think it is. I think it's. What kind of aftershave are you wearing?
Psh.
See?
Club man.
It smells very manly. It could be that the
now that one's glitchy. Your main one is gone. That one's glitchy. Oh wait, let me do this. Hang on.
About to
boom.
I'm about to throw down my headphones and quit.
And just call it a day.
And leave. That'll make y'all happy. How about that, Wade? How about I just get up and leave? My doctor says it's too much caffeine.
Mm-hmm.
Look, when the fit hits the shan, and it very well could, you need the protection that the folks over at Protect My Mojo can offer. And when you go there, you'll see what I'm talking about. It's these little electronic gizmos that can protect both your house, your vehicle, your motorcycle, anything that's electronic from the effects of an EMP. And that's why the crazy SOB over in Iran, if he gets a hold of something like that, he is going to make life miserable for the rest of us. That's why you'll need protectmymojo.com. Use the promo code Daily Mojo. You save, $50? Something like that.
Yep.
Protectmymojo.com and promo code Daily Mojo. I hit button now.
Where political correctness comes to die. The Daily Mojo.
I know you've downloaded the Daily Mojo app. I've only asked 100 times. If you haven't done it, but what can I do that's going to convince you that you should? And do I need to send Ron over with soft hands or just some lotion for maybe a little foot rub?
Maybe.
Is that what I need to do? Because I'm not above doing that. I am not above doing that at all. But download the app. It allows us to get messages, important, vital messages to you, and to tell you about things like this. How cool is that?
Oh,
it's
that's
like
neat.
It's like a box that melted, isn't it? It's like a little box that melted, and wouldn't it be really cool if on the top it said the Daily Mojo? Wouldn't that be cool if this is what you got in the next subscriber box? Wouldn't that be awesome? Or if maybe you wanted it personalized with, I don't know, your logo or your name. Like this one could say Brad's Drippy Stuff. Might want to rethink that name, but might not. Anyway, a little preview of what's to come for those of you who have so wonderfully supported this channel and this platform. Even you, Wade. Mind of Zoe, I assume those EMP shields do nothing. There's no way for you to test it. Oh, I can run an EMP on you. Actually, if you go there, there is you can learn more about it. I think they actually have some testing video. I looked at something and now I'm blanking on it, but I'll check because that's a valid question. It's kind of like on a GFCI. Ground fault circuit interrupter.
Oh yeah,
same thing. When you at least on those you can push the button and make sure that everything's working. I'm starting to wonder if maybe
I would disconnect every other camera except your main one, and just see if it's just.
That's what you do.
Yep, just disconnect them all. Except
How does
that
one do that?
Good question.
So I asked it.
Just remove the inputs for the other cameras. Maybe that'll free up the space.
Well, there's that one, and there's that one. We'll start with that.
Okay.
We'll start with that and see what happens there. How's that sound?
Well, your main one is messed up now, so.
I'm having a lot of fun. I don't know about you. I'm having a grand time.
It's kind of odd. I don't know why it's doing that, but.
And I can hear, don't you test this before? Yes. Hours of stress testing. And that as soon as it smells Ron's cologne, I swear to you, it goes, I hate bold man. What'd you call it? Hard man? Bold man? What's your cologne?
No, Club Man.
Oh, Club Man. It was something like that.
Gonna keep it there for right now.
As soon as they smell Club Man, they're like, We are so out of here.
Yep.
Maybe that's it. All right, so this is a piece of technology. I was going to say that they use in Starfleet Academy, but I'm not going to say that. Just to piss off Wade. So, and maybe you've noticed this in when you go to the store, but this is pretty wild.
On and got fancy. Look at that. We actually have a whole fake family in here. But this is what I really wanted to show you. I've been seeing this all over the internet, on TikTok, on Facebook, on Instagram, about how Walmart is taking off all the prices. And I thought people were just joking around, just doing it for views. No, they're not. How crazy is this? There was actually a vendor working, and I asked her about it, and she said, yeah, all the employees are super annoyed about it as well. They are not happy that every time a truck comes in, that they have to sit there and rip off all the prices. Oh, but we ended up finding one. Seriously, I only found like maybe one or two pieces that still had a price on it, but the majority of this stuff, all the prices were ripped off. How stinking crazy is that? I mean, really, what is the real reason behind it? Why are they even doing it?
I'll tell you why they're doing it. It's dynamic pricing. It's the magic price tag. If you've not seen the magic price tags, they are pretty wild. You know what I'm talking about, right, Ron?
No.
Oh, the ones that look like that.
Oh,
you know, those aren't paper.
Yeah, Kohl's use those. Kohl's uses those, yeah.
And next time you're in a store, look at these little price tags. They look like paper. They look like nice paper inside a little frame. But
supermarkets are using digital ads, meaning the price you pay can change several times per day.
The price of your groceries may soon change right in front of your eyes. A glimpse of what shoppers could soon see is already on display in Europe, where the Wall Street Journal found prices at some grocery stores can change up to 100 times per day.
Okay, and it's not just in Europe. I've seen this in the United States. You can see these tags. Where was the last? Oh, Depot. Depot is using them. Was it Walgreens? Maybe.
The technology behind it? Digital shelf labels, small electronic screens that can instantly display new prices at the push of a button, and they're being used more and more across the U.S. Walmart has installed digital tags in more than 400 locations, with plans to reach 2,300 stores by next year. Kroger and Whole Foods are expanding pilot programs as well. It's fueling fears of surge pricing.
Here's the thing. They call this e-paper. And just to show you, and I'm going to break the code of the magician and show you how a trick works, because it's a fantastic trick. But this is how, and by the way, I think this guy's speaking French. Adrien Calatala. So he's got in the audience a bunch of people, and he's asking them. He's holding up a Post-it in his hand. He's like, "Hey, all right, it's a 4-digit number that I've already thought of and written down on a piece of paper in this jar of jelly beans." And so he goes around. He's like, "All right, first digit," and they random. Well, it is random. It can truly be any 4-digit number. And so he's down to the last digit here, and he says, he says, "You have the responsibility," because he's speaking a foreign language, and unless you speak this, you won't understand. So allow me. 7,040 and the last digit, 2. 2, very good. 7,942. There, I will write it down on this here Post-it note so that you can all see it well. Congratulations. There are indeed 7,942 candies inside the jar. Well, you have to believe it. Either that or we start counting them one by one amongst all of us. If we share them out, we can come up with a few and then we add them up. Or there's an easier way, and that's my wife has them under control because she counted them prior to blah, 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 and has written them down on a piece of paper inside is essentially what he is saying. Get to the point. Notice I don't have anything in my hands. My wife has them all written down. Control how many I eat. She wrote it on a piece of paper and put it inside the jar. I want you to see that inside this jar, right under the lid, is this rolled up piece of paper that I'm going to try to bend with my fingers so you make it think that it's a little piece of paper that's folded up. 7.942. And that's that same paper. That's the same kind of paper that you see in those little price stickers in stores now. So somewhere off camera, behind it, there is an app. I think you put it on an app on your phone, and it's Bluetooth. So you can enter anything, and the numbers will appear on that little. It's a tiny little LCD screen, foldable LCD screen, which has been around for some time. But that's what stores are now using, so that they can sit somewhere in an office. Probably not even a person. It's probably a computer with an algorithm that. I'm aware.
Okay.
It's probably just an algorithm, and the computer, is programmed to, at the top of the hour, every other hour or whatever. All right, update prices. And it sends out a little Bluetooth signal, Wi-Fi or whatever, and it changes all of the prices in the store at the same time. So like the reporter said, you could be standing there in front of the Fritos and watch them go up or down, probably up, 14 cents right in front of your face. Which begs the question, when you go to check out, let's say you put the Fritos in your cart and you go to the front of the store and you're checking out, and then there is a price bump just before you check out. Do you get the price that you saw on the tag first?
No, I don't think so.
That doesn't seem right, does it? So you pick it up at $2, and by the time you get to register, it's $2.13.
Not unless there's a delay. Not unless from the time they punch the button, there's a delay. But inevitably, somebody will pick it up.
But that makes me think that possibly they only do it at night. How would you do that without affecting the people that already have it in there, that picked it up off the shelf and already have it in their cart because it was $2 and they wanted to pay $2, not $2.13? Or is it now that you're going to have to, when you walk into Kroger or whatever, you're going to have to, give away the right, just so you know, prices could change at any moment, which means if you pick something up, by the time you get to the register, it could be more expensive. See? If we don't stop this shit right now, we're going to end up with a gay Klingon.
Too late.
Damn it. Phil Bell's next.
Oh! Boots on the floor. Coffee in hand. Spin that dial. We start the band.
Boots, check. Keys, check. Attitude, check. We'll take it from here.
Sun comes up, headlines burn. Mic goes live, we take our turn. Bradley J. Staggs laughing at the seams. Talking big talk about big wild Daily Mojo. Bang that drum, chasing down that American dream. One job, one job, one job, one job. Wrong, you had one job wrong. Daily Mojo, beat that chest. Well, our broke, we still believe. One job, one job, one job, one job wrong. We're chasing that American dream.
The Daily Mojo.
Daily Mojo.
Hobo Joe brought up a great point. Just think these digital tags can be hacked. Yes, they can. So
which means you could end up with a lower price when you go to the counter.
Or you could end up with $300 Cheetos.
Good point.
One of the two. When we get Phil on, I will reboot my system.
Okay.
And bring the thumbnail back up, because how did we get clearance to use an image of Al Roker for Phil Bell?
I don't know. It was on his Facebook page. I sniped it.
We're gonna have to ask Phil if Phil had the right. You know what?
Get on board Phil's freedom train.
There it is.
Rolling out, feel that joy again. Hands up high, let go of the pain. Get on board Phil's freedom train. Hey, hey. All up, all group, all game. Get on board Phil's freedom train.
Yeah, baby. Phil's freedom train is here. I did want to, before I forget, because if I don't do this now, I will forget. But Phil, you'll want to be watching tomorrow morning for Saturday Morning Live with Jeffy and myself, because it's Crazy Eyes. So it's a bunch of women who, well, you can tell by looking at them, they're crazy.
Yes.
I don't
so that means
think I need to say anymore.
We should try to date them. Is that where we're going here?
Yes. Yes. And do not try to marry them.
Correct.
Or the gay Klingon, either one of them. Don't even go there. So that's tomorrow morning at what time? 9 a.m. Central. So
has it really gotten so woke now that they need to push gay Klingons? I mean, is it not enough that you have spaceships that can fly faster than light, and you've got all these really cool worlds and interesting stuff? No. Gay Klingon.
Well, when the fish guy walked up and said to Jay Dent, "May I push your stool in?" I don't think he really understood the full effect of. Hey! Sorry, that was very lowbrow, but it was actually very worth it. All right, so let's. Where are we going to start with Phil? Hang on, I've got to bring him. I've got to get over to Phil's screen. Yes.
Could we go back to the last topic though, with the dynamic pricing? Because I actually think that's something we are ignoring the real problem. Because I know exactly what's going to happen. They'll introduce dynamic pricing, and then you're going to have all of these consumer advocates. They're going to run to the government and say, "Oh my gosh, this is terrible. You need to restrict it." And then you'll have people like AOC getting involved saying, "No, this shouldn't be allowed. You shouldn't be able to do this." Here's the real problem. We have had several generations now of people coming out of our schools that have been raised on stuff like gay Klingons. They have been taught everything but how to create value for someone else. That's why when you look at our business community today, while there are a lot of good people in it, most of the time they spend is on woke stuff. And when they're not doing woke stuff, what are they doing? Well, how can we improve our product? I know we can make the price higher. That's it. That is the biggest problem. Not improving the technology, not innovating in anything. It's just raising the price. And once you get there, you are in terminal decline. And that's why I don't care if they want to do that. It's their property, it's their products, whatever. But we need to get back to what America used to be. And that's why I'm really happy with a lot of what Trump is trying to do. But it's going to take a generation before we get there.
No, absolutely. And that's where this Eric Anthony Glover, he was the writer, one of the writers on the show, a gay black man who I don't know where he went to school. But what was it about his upbringing that made him decide? Was he was born that way? I don't know. But what was it about it that made him all of these concepts that he sees happen? Because that's the way they see the future happening. That's the other thing about it too. I know it's a TV show. Sorry, every now and then I just have to let it out. But it is their vision of the future. Look at what the original Star Trek did. Look what it gave us. I mean, they named the first freaking space shuttle Enterprise because of the public put the petition together and petitioned the president of the United States, and it was Ford, right? I think Ford was the one who. Yeah, I think
it was Ford when the Enterprise was built. Yeah.
Yeah. Now it never went into space, but it still exists. It's fortunately did not crash. But it's in the museum, Stephen Udvar-Hazy Museum, I think. I think that's where
they moved it.
Anyway,
no,
where'd they move it to?
There. They moved it. I thought they moved it to either Alabama or Texas because they have Discovery in the one near DC, and now Ted Cruz had legislation to move that to Texas because they wanted an operational orbiter. Although the way NASA thinks of it, they always thought of Enterprise as being operational, even if it couldn't reach space.
It could have reached space, though, right?
Yes.
So Enterprise is now in the Intrepid Sea and Air Museum in New York City.
New York. Okay, so I was wrong there.
It's on an aircraft carrier.
Yeah.
Is the Intrepid? Yeah, the Intrepid Museum's an aircraft carrier.
Yep. Right by,
housed in the Space Shuttle Pavilion on the flight deck of the Intrepid aircraft carrier.
Wow.
I've been there, but I don't remember it being that big. Because when you get up next to those space shuttles, they are huge.
Big.
I mean, they are really, really big. But back to the what was it about his upbringing and all these people, like Alex Kurtzman? What is it about their upbringing that made them decide, by God, the future has to be gayer?
Well, I don't think it was the upbringing at all. I think so much of it is the culture, and it's the culture that's being pushed on everybody from when they're young nowadays. It wasn't being pushed on us, but it was. I think they really started that in the 1990s with the whole, self-esteem garbage. Oh, your self-esteem. You just kind of get up and you go about your day. And then they tell you, well, you have low self-esteem. Or, by the way, don't forget, you're black. So you've got to be upset about that. And then as time went on, it became all about your identity, all about what you're thinking. And of course, what you're thinking is being imputed on you. And therefore, it went from having people like Roy Cohn. We know Roy Cohn was gay. That was President Trump's lawyer, who, by the way, owned part of the Lionel Train Company, as I found out. But you went from somebody like that who was just, hey, look, that's just who he was, to now you have to wear it on your sleeve and you have to be bereaved by anything and everything that maybe could have happened to somebody a long time ago that might have something in common with you.
Right. It is. And yes, if you criticize it in any way, suddenly you're homophobic, which is crazy because who is scared of a gay man? Although there are a couple that could kick my ass, so I'll just leave it there. So those would be the ones I would be scared of. But generally speaking, I'm not afraid of anyone who's gay. I don't hate them. I'm not. That's the crazy. They think that if you disagree with anything about it, that you either hate them or you're afraid of them. And it's like, that's either a general misunderstanding of the world or it is just their way of putting on character armor and or trying to dull the argument against them.
Exactly right. It is, number one, it's dulling the argument. Number two, it's always giving some kind of excuse for underproduction, failure to achieve either what they want to achieve or what others think they should achieve. And it's also a great way to get attention. Think about it. These people, we're not just talking about gay people. We're talking about a lot of blacks and women and suntanned Eskimos, as one of my high school assistant principals put it. They always live this way, and that way they're getting attention. So they're getting sympathy. Oh, well, so-and-so is gay. I remember in high school, there was one guy, he was gay, and he told everybody he was upset because he was on his period. Now, look, I'm pretty sure he and Tampon Tim would get along very well, but that was kind of like peak exactly what we're talking about. It's just a desire for sympathy and attention rather than any kind of recognition about who the individual is.
Wow. And here we are in 2026. So much better. You want to start with with Roland Rupp? No relation to Anthony Rupp, I'm assuming. The man who, strangely enough, was a Star Trek actor who accused Kevin Spacey of laying on top of him. Did that? Wow. What was the end result of that? Did they ever? Spacey got exonerated, didn't he?
I can't remember. I just know he kind of got excommunicated from Hollywood, but every so often he shows up. But it was weird because Kevin Spacey was Kevin Spacey. And then after all the allegations come out, well, I'm a gay man. That was his defense for everything. Like, well, dude, if you're gay or not, if you were doing this stuff, it's ridiculous. And then he just kind of disappeared and everyone stopped talking about him for a while.
He's acquitted of all 9 sexual assault charges in a London court in 23. He's set for 3 more claims in London. The depositions are scheduled for October of this year. So they are keeping him busy.
Well, let me give a little piece of advice to Kevin Spacey. Kevin, if you're watching, all right, if you get a job with the TSA, but not at any airport where I fly in, okay? Don't do that. But if you get a job with the TSA, you can engage in sexual assault all the time, and they will never, ever charge you. See, there you go.
Yeah,
perfect job for you.
You'll probably get a promotion.
They'll make you
all
the head.
Back to wow. Yes, they. Yes, they will. Roland Rupp, a student at Albany Law School of Union University, is suing the school for racial and political discrimination. What color is Roland Rupp?
It sounds like, because they didn't have pictures, but it sounds like Roland Rupp is white and that he's a white conservative. And
it does sound like he's white.
Yeah, and he's in his law school class, and the professor basically comes down on him like a ton of bricks for being a white conservative to such a great extent that he leaves the class. And everybody else there is basically told, look, if you're expressing these views, they are going to come after them too. And it is absolutely shameful what is going on here. And this, by the way, is the law school that Megyn Kelly went to.
Wow, this is insane. He says that the professor was suggesting that the founding fathers were worse than Hitler, and that conservatives hate everyone, blacks, women, gays, and that they aim to conserve slavery. I mean, where does that even come from? Because there's somebody out there, more than one somebody's, who believe that conservatives want to conserve slavery. What do they base? You have any idea what they base that on?
Oh, they made it up. It's simple as that. They made it up. You got to realize, and I know it's very difficult for a lot of folks, in the audience and in general, when somebody makes a statement like I just did, to say, well, hold on, there's got to be something somewhere, some basis that it was built on. But you have to understand the mentality of these people. And what their goal is full control, not only of society and how society operates, but your ability to operate within the society. So that's why if you go back about 10 years, and we were having a lot of the debate, or 10, 12 years, we were having a lot of the debates over same-sex marriage and so on. Remember what the message was. It was about toleration. That was the word they used, toleration. Hey, you know what? Adam and Steve are over here. They're going to get married. That's what they want to do. You need to tolerate that, even if it's not part of what you believe in. But it quickly went beyond that to, you have to be a part of it. You have to accept it. You have to praise it. Why is that? Because it wasn't enough for someone to sit quietly and say, hey, look, I may be friends with Adam or Steve. I don't approve of what they're doing, but it's okay. They can do it over there, but I still don't approve. That wasn't good enough. And that's exactly what's at play here, which is that you cannot have a viewpoint, even quietly, that disagrees with what they want. So they will, in fact, make things up in order to tell you otherwise and stop you from thinking.
It's amazing. They accuse the rest of us of being fascist while employing fascist techniques.
Yes,
that is the great irony of this entire movement, really, that seems to have leached into every freaking aspect of society. That's the worst part. I'm going to say it. It's literally everywhere, because I can't think of one instance in societal relationships that it isn't absurdly on display. Can you?
No, it really is everywhere, and that's by design. And they knew that the way they would get there was based on conservatives and Christian conservatives in particular, because the vast majority of us do not want to have the difficult debates with whether it's within the family or in the workplace or among friends that stop this kind of thing. Because, I remember in a previous job, we had somebody who was very much aligned, ideologically, I'd say, with the majority of this audience. And when it came to the discussions about the trans issues, she said, well, hey, wait a minute. You know what? We don't want to make people feel bad. We don't want to do this. We don't want to do that. And look, everything she was saying was coming from the right place in terms of her heart. But what was the reality? Well, if you didn't interdict that, it was going to end up being something that ate the entire movement, as it ultimately did.
It is so it's so ridiculous that it is, and again, a lot of it is based in Trump derangement syndrome. He didn't. I mean, I know he didn't start it, but the fact that it did start at, and it could have been I guess my point being, it didn't matter if it was Trump or Bob Jones doing what Trump has done, coming down that escalator in 2015. Right. Whoever it was that was going to upset the proverbial apple cart in 2015 was going to have this albatross hung around their neck.
Well, remember that I agree, but I think it's a little bit more nuanced than that. See, what Trump did, it wasn't just that he was there at the time. It's also that because he gave the ability for a lot of people who were voiceless, realistically, in the two-party system at the time, to have a voice and for that to be put out there loudly, well, suddenly now they were able to identify one person who was the target of everything they wanted. Now, in the past, they could see me and I would say, yeah, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. I think all this stuff is claptrap. And when I have my own company, we're not going to have any affirmative action. There'll be no DEI. There's going to be none of this. And by the way, I have my own company. There is no affirmative action. There is no DEI. And there never will be as long as I'm here. But I was just a random dude. They could hate me, but they'd have to move on. Now you have somebody who embodies everything that they don't like, and they can say all of their minions point that way. And that's the reason why they created TDS. And it was a desire to motivate them to be more engaged.
This was from OK Rick's Instagram or YouTube short. I don't know where it came from, but it's titled, "This was the Democrats' biggest fear."
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, this was Democrats' biggest fear. Thank you, Donald Trump. Check this out and let me know what you think.
Just want to tell all my brothers, hey man, first of all, I just want to say, man, thank you, Trump. Because guess what? I went to a construction site today, y'all. Remember, I didn't have no job. I was doing Uber. Couldn't find a job nowhere. I went to a construction site. They was already working. Got hired on the spot. Thank you, Mr. Trump. Thank you so much, man. Thank you, Mr. Trump. If it wasn't for the move that you did make for the immigrants, and I'm not talking about the good people, I wouldn't have a job right now.
Wow. I mean, that drives them crazy. And I want to know if the tattoo of Jason hurt, because that's a massive tattoo of Jason on his on his pectoral muscle. But yeah, that's their worst fear. People like him out there grateful to the president for doing the right thing, which again is so bizarre that we are coming down on some guy. Excuse me, they are coming down on some guy because he's enforcing the laws of the United States of America.
But it's more than that. That guy in that video is now going to have more independence because he has more financial independence. He's going to see the output of his work. He is now going to be part of a growing class. Obviously, if it works out, it sticks with it because, everybody's different. But a class that will not be as dependent on government as others have been. They really hate all of that. And by the way, the president has projected that we are going to, I think, have a positive trade surplus, right? We're going to have a trade surplus, as opposed to a trade deficit very soon, possibly by next month. Now imagine that.
That'll really piss them off. That will really, really, truly, they will be apoplectic after that. All right, I have to quick hole here, and then more with Phil Bell or Al Roker. I'm not sure which. Next on the Daily Mojo.
Thank God it's Friday.
Hey, where are the white women at?
The Daily Mojo.
I found a white woman, space hippie on vacay. Right, Wade, I'm here for it, though, because everything else that's happening is horrible. Because Wade said, hey, look over there. Look over here. This should be a huge deal, and no one gives a shit. Aliens, wow, great. Woohoo. Or, oh, everyone's a pedo. Oh, great. It's really weird. Wade is referring to the announcement that Trump made about aliens. And here's the thing about the announcement that Trump made about aliens. He's going to release, much like Obama said on whatever show that he was on, where he said he hadn't seen the aliens, and but
he said they're real, but I hadn't seen them.
They're real, and the way he said it, who knows? Again, all this stuff is compartmentalized. Does Trump know whether or not there are aliens at Area 51? He might not. They kept this stuff secret from presidents.
Plausible deniability. Yep.
Plausible deniability. And quite frankly, they don't want some people to know about it.
Yeah.
I mean, and look at these, and bring Phil back in. Phil Bell, our Washington, D.C. correspondent. You'd think he was a DEI hire, but he's not. He's actually good at what he does. So it wouldn't matter if he was pink, purple, or had 3 husbands. We don't care. You don't have any husbands, did you? If you were purple, you'd be Barney. No. Unless it would make Ron jealous.
You know what? Again, hey, listen, I have plenty of toleration for the ways that other people choose to live. I do not live that way. And I'd prefer if they do not bring all of their husbands here. That would get awfully crowded very quickly.
And uncomfortable, quite frankly.
Yeah.
So the
imagine
president,
everybody trying to fight over the grill. Could you imagine that? That would be like, no, that just doesn't work.
But your home would be decorated immaculately. Because if you want to have tasteful decoration, ask a gay man. They 9 out of 10 can decorate the hell out of anything. I'm looking
that
for
is
the
true.
So you got to go with your strengths.
And that's
right,
how you can tell I'm not gay, because you see this, you can tell. Yeah.
I was trying to decide if you are living on a fault line and your house is sliding down to the right, and I keep expecting you to go sliding off the screen.
Yeah.
Over here on
it's the
Truth Social. Are you sure it's not your house?
No, I
Donald
think
Trump on Truth. Based on the tremendous interest shown, I will be directing the Secretary of War and other relevant departments and agencies to begin the process of identifying and releasing government files related to alien extraterrestrial life, unidentified aerial phenomenon, and unidentified flying objects, and any and all other information connected to these highly complex but extremely interesting and important matters. God bless America. So, what do you think of that?
I think it's very interesting. I would like to see what they have. I don't expect a whole lot, because keep in mind, even though the government seems to be very prolific about creating a lot of files about stuff that, most people probably wouldn't create files about, I think the truth of what's at Area 51 and a lot of these other places is probably just not been written down.
Exactly. It's the Epstein logbook. It's the same thing. They don't write this stuff down. And if they do, it's written in some sort of code, and it's certainly not available to anybody with outside of their little circle of influence, which is someone at NSA.
Yeah.
The CIA may or may not know. Tulsi Gabbard may or may not know. I mean, going back to the NSA, when that was created, no one, it's hard to fathom that they did it without congressional approval and without Congress's knowledge. And how long was it in existence before Congress even knew about it?
It had to be something like 10, 15 years, right? It was a while. That's how they got away with that no such agency tagline. And how is it that Congress hasn't since put a stop to it? That's what I really think about. Because if anything, if I was in Congress, if I was a speaker, especially now, I'd look over and say, wait a minute, you created an entire agency and spent money that we said was supposed to go to other stuff, like buying votes for us on that, and we didn't get anything for it, shut it down. But what do? They kept it going.
Yeah. I share y'all's frustration with this. I really do. But you get to an age where you just realize when they are, whatever the opposite of gaslighting is. What is the opposite of gaslighting? If there is an opposite. What would be, whatever that is. If this is what and maybe Donald Trump believes that they will, in fact, release information. But I think it's going to be like the Epstein files. It'll be a lot of nothing. And I don't trust people like Grush. I don't trust people like Elizondo. I don't trust any of those people to be telling us anything of any substantial. They tell us what the machine wants us to know. And that's it.
Yeah, you're right. And think of it this way. I'm pretty sure that for several generations, nobody who's either elected or appointed at the leadership level has any idea of what's out there. If there's anybody who they're going to hide it from, much more so than us, it will be them. So you've got to think not just one level down, not just two levels down, but this will be just like we talked about last week with Nixon. Think about all that they were doing, and that was relatively close to him, and they were able to get away with so much, right? So think about what they're able to do with much more permanent bureaucracies. Even if we're talking about individuals on the ground at Area 51, they're able to do that. Okay, well, look, this isn't going to go any further than you or I, and that's it. It's just going to stay here. Well, they're able to do whatever they want at that point. The president can't control them. The secretary of whatever can't control them. They're just going to do as long as their paychecks keep coming, which they will, as we know. So, yeah, there's a lot, and we won't find out.
The best hope we have of finding any of these things out is some individual, some either private citizen or somebody could be a government worker who is I guess they're technically still private citizens, but someone in the machine, like who was the dude, Watergate, what was his name, Ross? What was remember the guy's name with the briefcase who was copying everybody's briefcase papers? It's going to be somebody like him. Yeah. Maybe it is Ross. I just can't remember his last name. But, and the fact that, I mean, looking back, everything they told us about Nixon, a lie.
Yeah.
It is mind-boggling how much of what we learned as human beings from school and the news is absolute bullshit. Complete 100%.
And think about this. If they did have records of, let's say, there's a requisition for $250,000 to buy, I don't know, we'll say new flooring for this hangar or something like that. How do we know that actually went to new flooring on the hangar? You know what I mean?
Right.
You don't. How do you know that wasn't to deconstruct some alien spaceship and buy new drills or create a new hex bolt? I don't know. But even if you have records, you don't know if it actually corresponds to what happened. And that's the problem with a permanent bureaucracy where there will be no repercussion, at least with a private company. If we do that long enough, somebody's going to say, well, wait, we were supposed to be spending money on this. How come it's not done? And then you realize, oh, you were doing X instead of Y. But in this case, you don't have that.
In the 70s, I remember the $700 hammer. Like in 1977, I was in 7th grade. 74, I was in 4th grade, etc. I remember back in that time period, the terminology was, the government, we're spending, buying $700 hammers. Where's this money really going? That sort of thing. I had friends whose parents worked at Plant 42 in Palmdale. Then they worked on the stealth bomber. They worked on the B-1B. They worked on all of these top secret aircraft. They used to fly them over our houses all the time. in I think it was 92 when I was out there for a reunion. I was talking to one of the test pilots from Edwards Air Force Base. I asked him about UFOs because I was doing a series on UFOs for the National Network at the time. And he looked at me and he said, if I told you what I know about UFOs, we would both be dead.
Wow.
So they are serious as our heart attack about not letting this information out. They don't care what Donald Trump says. They don't care what sort of edict he gives them. They don't care. I mean, look at, remember when he directed to Bondi, who has been something of a disappointment, release the files. Congress passed the damn law, right? They released the files by X date. Did they? Nope.
No.
In theory, we have them all now, but they just don't give a damn, which is distressing.
Yeah. Now, I will say, and this is probably the most controversial thing I've ever said on the Daily Mojo, I don't agree with releasing the files for one reason. There are plenty of people, and we've seen this, whose names show up who didn't have anything to do with any wrongdoing. And the problem that was created was now you've got a lot of people believing that there's nothing but evil people being protected, and the evil people are being protected, by the way. And at the same time, you have people who didn't do anything evil who are having their names dragged through the mud. And the big case is somebody like Catherine Rumler, who works over at Goldman Sachs and used to be Obama's White House counsel. Now, she is corresponding a lot with Epstein. She took a probably expensive handbag from him. But did she do anything that was wrong? Was she aiding and abetting the sexual abuse? There's nothing in there that says so. Yeah. Do you want her name? Should her name be out there? Now, I think she's terrible. She's part of the Obama regime. Undoubtedly, she was doing plenty of stuff to make life difficult for people like us. But, should you get tarred like that? I don't think that was right. But I agree with you completely. There's so many, and it doesn't matter who the administration is. It doesn't matter who the people are. They will just do everything they can to ignore, to flout, to do whatever to protect themselves and the machine. And that's why we have constantly got to be there trying to stop the machine, shrink the machine, and make it impotent.
I like that. That'd be an allegory, or is that a metaphor? I guess it's a metaphor. That's a good question. We try to learn people here on this program, and sometimes we do, and sometimes we don't. The protecting of people. See, the problem with the Epstein files is it's the Nancy Pelosi let the cat out of the bag when she talked about the circular. I can't remember the exact term for it, but you make something up. You talk to a media source, they print it, then you refer back to the printed version of the story from the media source that you fed to the media source as proof that what you said is true, which is what they continue to do. It's, you can make up anything, and it becomes the truth simply because it was in the news. And that's how they weaponize everything, including the Epstein files, because everybody thinks now that just because your name is in the files, which has kind of backfired on the women over at The View, because I guess Whoopi Goldberg's name was in there, and others, but I didn't do anything, and yet they continue to point the finger at people like Trump. It's maddening,
and they won't answer the real question: how did Jeffrey Epstein get to be So we know he didn't graduate from college. He gets a job as a teacher, which I think at the time, no problem with that. But then he goes from that to being employed, I think, ultimately as a managing director at Bear Stearns. Now, if anybody, because I tried this, and of course I couldn't do it, if you wanted to go work at one of those bulge bracket investment banks, Bear Stearns, Lehman Brothers, Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs, you had to go through a rigorous training program, and they only recruited from certain schools, and they only recruited certain people because they were always, even now, if you don't go to, you can As long as you go to Harvard, sure, they'll let you in. But if you go to a school that's just as good or even have better grades, they just won't look at you. But how did Jeffrey Epstein get to be at that level at Bear Stearns? And then from there, how does he get to be involved with Leslie Wexner? Because I don't believe anything Leslie Wexner said. But no one's asking those questions. They just keep running around trying to call Trump a pedophile because his name appears there. And when it appears there, it's Trump saying, no, I don't like this guy. Get out of my face.
Right. Yeah, it was not what they had hoped for when they found his name in the files. It was not anything close to what they'd hoped for. And the lies continue. I'm transitioning here, not in that sense, but in the sense of the Susan Rice story, or quote. Do you want me to play this and then you can explain it, or do you want to just play a little bit of it? How do you want to handle this?
Yep. Play a little bit of it because it's 2 minutes long, and with her talking, it feels like 2 hours. But I think there's a little, a little beginning is good.
All right, you just tell me when to stop.
But when it comes to the elites, the corporate interests, the law firms, the universities, the media, I agree with you, Preet. It is not. It's not going to end well for them. For those that decided that it was, that they would act in their perceived very narrow self-interest, which I would underscore is very short-term self-interest, and, take a knee to Trump. I think they're now starting to realize, wait a minute, this is not popular. Trump is not popular.
Trump is not popular?
Now she
Did she just say that out loud?
Into that, but later on she says, well, Democrats aren't going to play by the old rules. So if you think that Democrats are going to come in and forgive this, well, you've got another thing coming. She is threatening anybody who has cooperated with Trump. Now, I want you to think about that for a minute. So if you said, hey, we're going to bring plants back to the United States, we're going to employ people like the guy in the last segment, give him jobs. Yeah, you're under threat the next time the Democrats get in charge. And by the way, you got to take Susan Rice seriously. She was a senior level bigwig with Barack Obama and really helped drive that administration. And she was one of the presidents during the preceding 4 years under Joe Biden, the people that actually ran the country. So they are in prime position, if they get elected anywhere, to go ahead and take revenge. Not so much because you're going out and wearing a hat like this, but simply because you say, yeah, Mr. President, we'll work with you. We'll get jobs back to this country. We'll make the country strong again. Yeah, think about that.
She was the woman that it was inferred was actually running the show in D.C. during a period when Biden was president here. I remember that.
And Obama.
That was...
And Obama.
Really? I did not know that they had inferred that as well.
That's why Rush liked to play a lot of her clips and point a lot out about her, because she was very high there. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that Obama was as incompetent as Joe Biden was, but, she played a very, very critical role in what they did. And she was one of the people that Rush would always talk about. It's not that she needed someone like Barack Obama to come along and say, hey, Susan, I want you to do thus and so. It's that they already have that mindset when they come into those roles and they're able to act. That's one of the reasons why you'll never find a smoking gun, for example, of Barack Obama saying, hey, I want you to go cram down on Philco here and make his life miserable. She'll just know.
Barack Obama, brilliant at what he does and what he did. I mean, he was, the polish is off just a little bit now, but back in the day, he was so good at getting out there in front of those microphones and then telling what you keep your doctor, keep your guns, and then turning around and walking back behind the curtain and doing whatever the hell he wanted to do. It was
right.
It was a thing to behold. I mean, because he just does not give a damn. He will do whatever the hell. He and Big Mike, it's them against the world, and he's got Big Mike to fall back into the arms of.
Now
she was Susan Rice was 32. Yep.
Can I point something out about Barack Obama, by the way? Since earlier this week, Jesse Jackson, or the Reverend Jackson, as Rush used to call him, died. Do you remember what Jesse Jackson said about Barack Obama, what he wanted to do to Barack Obama? Do you remember that?
I don't. What?
Well, Barack Obama did not sufficiently bend the knee to Jesse Jackson. He didn't come out of the whole, let's shake every corporation down and tell them that they're evil milieu. He came at it a different way. So there was a hot mic moment, and I think it was Jesse Jackson with Al Sharpton, but I can't remember who he was with. And they were sitting and didn't realize the mic's on and that it's rolling. And he said he wanted to cut Obama's nuts off because of basically Obama ignoring his, his way of doing things. And Rush played it over and over again, and it was hilarious. And it's one of the things I always like to remind the crazy liberals who were out there eulogizing Jesse Jackson earlier this week that, hey, your buddy wasn't exactly as pro-black as you thought.
And wasn't he going to be surprised when he went to cut his nuts off and found out there weren't any? And Big Mike actually had them.
Big Mike.
Boy, that would have been the
already.
Yeah. Yeah. You need the nuts. They're over here. I know we're going long, but I need to create another insane profit center timeout, which I wish that's what it was. But in a second, I would like to discuss, however briefly, the Captain Durag controversy, if you're up for that.
Absolutely.
Because Disney Plus has done it again. We'll do it on the Daily Mojo.
How's your mojo hanging? Need a lift? That's why we're here.
Coffee ring on a headline, ink stains on a kitchen table, ran bill stacked like a brick wall. Laugh so we don't scream where we stand. We got flags on the front porch, dreams on a clearance sale tag. They shake hands in a back room, we're counting quarters in a paper bag. This is the Daily Mojo. Red, white, broke but alive, chasing that American way of life. Hey, hey, hey. We hold the line, shoulder to shoulder if the cash runs out tonight. Hey, hey. We still got heart, and we still got fight. Hey. The Daily Mojo, our way of life.
Download the Daily Mojo app and enable notifications to make life a little easier. Oh, and tell a friend about us. You'll be glad you did.
Daily Mojo, Daily Mojo, our way of life.
Bradley J., back to you.
Thanks, Kevin. Ewan Guru says this man is a eunuch. This man is a eunuch. This man is dead. Not my dog. Don't forget Valerie Jarrett. That's it. That's the other name I was remembering. And the Obama's skiff built after leaving office. She continued to live there, getting daily briefings. That's right. I've forgotten about that. Our D.C. correspondent, all-around nice guy, not DEI hire, Phil Bell, is in the house. And
looks just like it, Phil. Looks just like it.
There you go.
Do it again. Do it again. Look, see, there's that. There's that. And then there's Phil. Looks just like it.
That it does. Wait a second. Hold on. Are you now? See, there's a discrepancy there because are you a Minolta guy or are you a Nikon?
He's a Minolta guy. He said that.
Minolta guy. Yeah. So that was the mistake. So everybody's been doing that caricature on ChatGPT. So I figured I'd do it too, and I put in a picture of me in front of a locomotive, and sure enough, it got even got the Maxim right on the strap, but it put Nikon instead of Minolta. So clearly ChatGPT doesn't know a good camera.
Right. It's AI is if it's ever going to take over the world, it's going to have to improve its eyesight. The story of Captain Durag is pretty funny, actually. It's Disney. It's a show. The show on Disney Plus is called. Is it Ask AJ? Go Call AJ?
Yeah, something like Ask AJ.
Yeah. Here is a little clip, and I did this to find out if by reversing it and slowing it down a smidge or speeding it up, if the algorithm still hits it.
the streets.
Slime City is a hot mess. Good thing I'm not a crime fighter. I'm a grime fighter.
That's right. Run and tell that, Captain Durag.
Watching Captain Durag clean up Slime City is the best, Dad. He really knows how to take out the trash.
Yeah.
Because the only thing better than trash is more trash.
That's dumpster.
The dumpster. Little bugging as usual, I see. Looks like it's time for me to make a clean sweep.
Really, AJ? You're supposed to be cleaning.
Sorry, I just had to stop it there because I thought they drew her butt wrong, quite frankly. It shouldn't be a straight line. It should have curves to it. But Captain Durag is lighting up the corners of the interweb as being racist and a misstep by Disney+. What do you make of Captain Durag?
Well, first of all, I thought it was pretty cool that the overarching story, the whatever AJ, is partly from Martellus Bennett, who used to be a tight end in the NFL. What is it? Bears, Patriots, a few other teams that he played for, which, you know, is pretty cool. He's not even 40 yet, and he's managed to have 2 careers, which is pretty neat. But second,
nice. What
the heck are they complaining about? Look, it's an interesting cartoon, right? It's a funny cartoon within a cartoon. All right, Captain Durag, and he's cleaning up the streets from grime and this stupid, what do you call it, dumpster that's spouting, you know, green
the
slime.
Dumpster.
Come on.
Yes.
It's funny.
Why are they, I mean, bikers have worn do-rags are they pissed because of Aunt Jemima? Because was that a do-rag that Aunt Jemima wore, or was that considered something else?
I don't know.
I don't
That's
even know.
A good question.
It was just a scarf.
Yeah, that's what I would think that is, just to kind of hold the hair back while you're cooking.
Right. I've never thought of a do-rag as being racial, I guess.
Well, one of the things, you know, and I do not understand this. I have spent 44 years, or I should say maybe 43 years and a month and how many days? 43 years, 1 month and 20 days as a black man. And I still do not understand the obsession with hair. Here it is. That's mine. You know, I've got some. It's not a big deal. You know, you handle it differently from the way a white person handles theirs because it's a little bit different. Yeah, it's no big deal. But whether it's the women complaining about bonnets or us complaining about women wearing bonnets, and no, wearing a bonnet in public is not good. Not the kind of bonnet that we're talking about now anyway. It doesn't look very good. Or if it's the men wearing the do-rags and, oh, this is all supposed to be part of our culture, it is stupid. What I saw in that cartoon was just a light, fun way that kids and their parents could enjoy themselves and have some pretty wholesome programming, at least a little bit that I saw. Now, I'm sure they're going to probably try to fill it with a bunch of woke claptrap and everything else because we know who's there, but I cannot understand not only what the uproar is, but going beyond that, as I read through the article, apparently they went to a consulting firm who exists to consult on things like this to make sure it wasn't, you know, racist or anything. Where does that come from?
I wonder if they had done like Captain Afro, and he had been, remember in which Naked Gun was it? The second one where OJ in the flashback. Yeah. Remember he had the afro that was so big he couldn't get through the doorway.
Yep.
But you can have Captain Afro, and would they be all up in arms with their panties being a wad about that? And it's the people that I've seen so far who have been all wadded up over this. I think there were a couple of black commentators, or was it a middle-aged white woman who started off with clutching her pearls with Captain Durag?
I think that's usually how it starts. The awfuls get started, and then their companions in the fight of insanity usually follow along, and the next thing you know, you have the Oppression Olympics. And then after that, you get the Rainbow Push Coalition, tying it back to Jesse Jackson again, where they come along and say, well, you got to apologize. And the way you apologize for your sins is you give us money. And yeah, that's usually what goes on.
Let's see here. Go ahead.
I say all the time in the morning updates, and I want to say it again, the way that this ends is simply by us castigating it. So look, if you're out there and you see this and you're offended, you are an idiot. You are not mature, and no, you should not be taken seriously. And even though we're talking about you here, it's just to mock you. So the more that they understand that, the less they will get involved in this.
This is from the subreddit Black Ladies, and I want to point out that the still that they pulled right here, which we went in way too close on that butt. Right there, same one that I had stopped on, because I think that they drew her butt wrong. That is just not the way you draw that butt, right? I mean, that is an incorrect drawing of a cartoon butt. You can't do it that way. I'm more offended by that than by Captain Durag.
Yeah, and actually, you got a great point, because look at the people behind their caricatures too, right? The large head on the child and the small body, and then the relatively small head on the guy and the large body. And she's the only one that has like somewhat sort of kind of normal-ish proportions, so it doesn't really fit in there.
Let's see. And according to this, he's got a white bunny as his sidekick. No, I think that's AJ, the girl, who has the white bunny as a sidekick. So are we going? Well, I think that we need to hear from the white bunny community to find out whether or not they are offended as white rabbits.
Wait, but are they allowed?
Let's face it.
See, that's the thing, because they're white, so they may not even be allowed. That's the thing with the DEI and the wokeness. Oh no, sorry, Mr. Rabbit, you're not allowed to be offended. But that black rabbit over there, I don't know, he can be a little.
That's a good, but the fact that they are technically furries, and furries, I think, are a protected class. See, you start wading into all sorts of controversial territory when you go down this road. It's crazy how many doors it opens up. I will investigate further at worldstarhiphop.com. That should prove to be an interesting little dive.
That's
all right. I am going to. I might want to wear a jumpsuit. All right. What's happening over at AllThingsTrains?
So, if I get my act together, headed down to North Carolina to see the Aberdeen, Carolina and Western Railroad, and ride their excursion train tomorrow morning. On my way to seeing the Young Republicans in North Carolina, we will have the pictures and videos from the East Broad Top Railroad, which is where I went last weekend. We will have those up on the site this weekend for everybody to take a look at. And by the way, that is going to be a great place that everyone should visit, whether you love trains or just like history.
You got it. All right, my friend, go out there and get them before they get you, and keep your eye out for Captain Durag.
Yes.
Because you never know when he's going to jump out from behind a dumpster and try to clean you up.
Clean it up. Yes.
Exactly. Phil Bell, ladies and gentlemen. Phil Bell has left the building, and so have we, temporarily. Back with more of the Daily Mojo.
Taste the honey sauce. Like I like it. Ooh, yeah. This is the Daily Mojo Friday.
I'm seriously disturbed by that cartoon butt. That was not at all what a cartoon butt should look like. There's nothing straight. There should not be a straight line across there. If you're going to draw a cartoon butt, draw a real cartoon butt. All I'm saying. If we're going to have this sort of claptrap, let's at least get down to the nitty gritty. See, don't be a menace to South Central while drinking your juice in the hood, E1 Guru says. Polish and Russian women have worn babushkas, which are also headscarves. I thought a babushka was a baby. I guess not. Let's see, over in the on the X feed. Lap has the Trump post on the aliens. Daguerre Bear, morning boys, F you as well. And Artificially Awake says, is there a difference between a city rat and one dwelling in a privy? These are the questions that try men's souls, I do believe. Lizzie B just reposted James Woods. When was this? Yesterday? Hang on a minute. I mean, we knew this was going to happen. I have not investigated this yet, but would it surprise me? And of course, the link didn't copy. Stand by one moment, please. Copy link, paste link, and link appears. California approves bill, according to this post from James Woods, California approves a bill to purchase burned Palisades land for affordable housing. This is what they've been up to all along, says James Woods. They did everything but strike the match. Let's see what the community notes say, shall we? No bill approving purchase of burned Palisades land for affordable housing passed. SB 549 proposed a rebuilding authority offering optional fair market buys, prioritizing original owners with 40% funds for low-income rebuilds, but stalled after Senate passage. That is a community note, and I don't feel right either saying yes or no on that until I've clicked those links, which I don't want to do right now. So according to these community notes, that particular post is deceptive. However, would it be surprising if California did that? Not to me. I mean, I think we all know that that's what they were attempting to do and would do it if given the opportunity. It's not like they haven't done that before. That's the problem. That's why the machine does not like platforms like X where you put anything out there. Now, again, I don't know what the real story is behind all that, but we'll take a look and let you know. And it wouldn't be surprising is the issue there. That's California. But again, I am really upset that the people in charge of California have done what they have done to the state of California, because it's a beautiful state. I have friends there. I like being there, and it irritates me that they've ruined it. Let's see here. Which story? This story from Outkick. I don't want to look at Eric anymore. And I don't know if you knew about the lawsuit that Haley Khalil filed, or was filed against her by her former NFL player ex-husband. He sued her because she went out on podcasts and where's Haley? There she is. She went out on a podcast and said that a contributing factor to the end of her marriage to her husband, Matt Khalil, was the fact that, how do I say this gently? It was too big. Oh. And by it, I think you know what it is.
Wow.
According to Haley, he's in he's an elite company in that department. She described it on Twitch. And let me see if I can read this right. She described it on Twitch live stream as 2 Coke cans stacked on top of each other.
Maybe a third.
Maybe a third. Which has always been, anytime I've ever had that discussion with anybody of the female persuasion, legit factory original female persuasion, the response has always been, what are you going to do with that anyway? Right? I mean, get that away from me. They weren't looking at me when they said that, but that's basically every woman any time in history. Get that away from me.
That do not fit.
Right. I mean, sure, it's impressive, but don't get it anywhere near me. His lawyers say in the lawsuit that Haley received substantial financial benefit, increased viewership, increased engagement, and monetization through various social media platforms and media coverage. Matt requested a jury trial, is seeking damages in excess of $75,000, which is an odd... Why would you do that? Well, I mean, you can sue anybody you can sue a ham sandwich, right? So if you're Matt Khalil and you're going to sue her for going on to a podcast, I guess, is it defamatory? I mean, most men would say that's, I mean, a guy with common sense would say, yes, it's defamatory. It does paint you in the picture of a freak, but by definition. But why would you call more attention to the statement by filing a lawsuit? That's what I don't understand, which...
Yeah, because he called it invasive commentary to begin with.
Right. So, again, but we've seen this over and over, people who sue other people because they talked about them. They may not have even mentioned them by name, but the person...
I mean, there's an ulterior motive here, right?
Yeah.
You talk about
does he just want everybody to know about his Coke can?
You talk about his thing on freaking whatever this site is, Outkick.com, and any other platform.
Well,
he's going to get women that come to him and go, "Hey, how you doing?"
None of the ones I've talked to. Her legal team is leaning on the First Amendment. As you can see, Haley didn't simply say, "Come on," to the judge in her attempt to have the lawsuit. She wants it tossed out, by the way. She didn't simply say, "Hey, come on," to the judge in her attempt to have the lawsuit tossed for talking about the impressive Coke can. She and her lawyers have formulated a plan that TMZ reports also claims that there's no case law where a woman's truthful account of her own sexual pain can be found to be an invasion of someone else's privacy. How many lawsuits have been filed versus how many thank you cards have been sent because someone said their ex was well endowed. A judge has not yet ruled on whether or not to dismiss the lawsuit. But in case you were wondering, it's Matt Khalil. Then we have her. When you look at her, what do you think?
Crazy eyes.
Yeah, she does, doesn't she?
Yep.
I mean, if there was ever a case for crazy eyes, that would be her. With sugar and spice on top. This is a Wisconsin teacher's aide. You want to guess the rest of the story?
My guess is she had sex with a student.
That's right. She had, the headline at People magazine says that she sexually assaulted a student during a sleepover. One wonders where was the sleepover? I don't know how many teachers. I'm trying to count the number of teachers that had sleepovers at their house when I was in school, and or teachers' assistants, teachers' aides, that had sleepovers at their house that I was invited to. And I can't think of, not only can I not think of one, but I can't think of anybody that I know who ever said, Mrs. Rutledge is having a sleepover at her house, and you're invited. And I went. Wisconsin school employee was sentenced to more than 50 years in prison after pleading guilty to sexually assaulting a child. How old was this one? You have any idea?
No.
12.
Oh.
Sleepover at her home in 2024. She was accused of abusing 4 boys. In December, she admitted to several charges, including first-degree sexual assault, child sexual exploitation, child enticement, and second-degree sexual assault of a child, according to the Kenosha County District Attorney. Guilty pleas came a year after she was accused of sexually assaulting that 12-year-old boy who was at her house with a group of friends for a sleepover. And again, I ask, never in the history of my school career did I ever have a teacher. Nor, I think, could I have ever conceived of that. I mean, When you were in school, was that
negative?
Mr. Smith is having a sleepover.
I mean, 99% of the female teachers in our school, you probably would not have wanted to have a sleepover with.
Huh. The boy told police he had tried to tell Crocker to stop and attempted to push her off, but that she refused. She does have that look in her eye, does she not? She's going to spend the next, who knows how long it'll be before. Then I don't. We were discussing. The update on her first. Remember her, Mary Lisa. She's the one who has the billboards in San Francisco.
Looking to get married.
Looking for a man. Unfortunately, she does have those eyes. Yep, she sure does. What do those eyes tell you? Yep, they sure do. So she had a date apparently over Valentine's Day. And she's still taking applications. If you want to go to marylisa.com, that's MARRY Lisa.com. She launched this back in the fall of 25, generated more than 4,000 applications. She then went through each application, narrowing that pool to around 50, then down to 20, before finally landing the first 5 dates back in the fall. She says that her Valentine's Day outing, I don't know why, but sometimes if I lick my finger, my trackpad works better. Is that weird? TMI?
Sounds weird. Yeah.
Okay. Well, you know how when you're reading a book, you have to sometimes to turn the page? But who would have thought that a trackpad works the same way? She went through each other. Catalano's Valentine Day outing. She is Lisa Catalano. Her Valentine's Day outing, not with a candidate from the initial batch of applications. Wasn't a first meeting, but with someone she'd been seeing for about a month. So is she seeing multiple dudes now? The plot thickens. The pair went to see a romantic comedy before heading home to cook dinner together, opting to keep things simple and relaxed, rather than brave, crowded restaurants. She has not decided on exclusivity. Cartolano says she's enjoying the dating process and meeting new people. Whew. How many bullets are being dodged? It was simultaneously the most stressful time of my life, but also the most magical thing that's ever happened to me. When asked if the search was worth it, the entire time I've been optimistic that this will all work out. How is it possible that you have 4,000? Is she being too picky?
Could be. I mean, that may be the whole shtick, though. She just really wants to date people. She doesn't want to get married.
You suggesting that she's shticky?
Yeah.
It's those eyes, man. I just really wanted to provide protection for myself and protection for them as well. That's why she did not go out into it. Is she famous now in that area, in the Bay Area? When she goes out, I mean, she does have a rather, you'd know, right? I mean, you'd know her if you saw her in public, right?
I would recognize her probably, yeah.
I mean, it's probably from the eyes.
Could
just
be,
saying.
Yeah.
But she said the bulk of the expense has gone toward billboard advertising, with placements running along Highway 101 between Santa Clara and South San Francisco. Since I don't have billboards in San Francisco itself, that's because they're all gay men there, I opted to do the taxi toppers there.
It just seems a little too desperation for me.
It does seem, I don't know, odd. Let's see, this particular image of her was it reeks of desperation.
And look, the way she's marketing this, she's probably making tons of money off of her website and all of the other things. She may not want to ever get married. She just pushes this as an example
When you say she's making money off her website, how so?
Is there not advertising on the website? She's got a docuseries, so she's going to market that.
Where? Oh, exclusively on KRON. Oh, that was a news story done on her. She's not making any money from a news story.
It says docuseries. I would assume it's more than one episode.
All right, but even if she is first 2 episodes available now on official press release.
Do you pay for that app? Do you pay for the subscription to that? I mean, I don't know. But she's on Apple TV Plus. She's on Fire TV, Roku. I mean, she's making money somehow.
Huh.
She's
making money. Are you suggesting this is a con?
Yes. Absolutely, I'm suggesting this as a con.
So, while we're all thinking she's crazy,
this is reality TV, is what this is.
That she's crazy like a fox, and she's making money.
Yep.
On this whole thing. Huh. Who's crazy now? The first episode, Mary Lisa, streaming now exclusively on the free KRON4 Smart TV app. KRON4 News is excited to bring one of the Bay Area's most talked about love stories to your screen with the premiere of its original docuseries. So it's a news series.
Yeah. And look, honestly, though, she's made it all the way to Dallas-Fort Worth because we're talking about her. So
she's in People magazine and the New York Post.
Yeah.
But that still doesn't translate into money. But maybe she is. Maybe you're right. Maybe that's what it is.
There's money
she's
somewhere. Yeah.
You are probably right. I would like to know
especially
what
if
she's
she's got social media platforms that she's on. She's making money.
Because we're going to put up pictures of you and go maryron.com.
Ron's
and
married.
then we're going to have pictures.
Thank you.
It doesn't matter. You don't even have to go out on dates. You just have to get a bunch of pictures sent, and then we rate them. And then we get People magazine to cover the story, and so maybe she's got the. Not My Dog says, did you see the California judge that ordered child mutilations to continue? It's California.
Yeah.
It's California. That nothing is surprising out there now. That's the problem. California is run by crazy people. They have destroyed the economy they're causing businesses to leave. They are making life miserable for the people who live there. They're taking tax dollars and spending them on crazy. I mean, it is just, it's a sad, sad story. It's a sad commentary. And I wish that and I don't know how it happened to California. That's the problem. But going back in the 70s, again, I know when rocks were soft and dinosaurs roamed the earth, California was more of a Republican state. It was more red than it was blue. And somehow they have been able to infect it with the liberal disease and have been able to make it stick now for several decades.
Yeah.
That's why everybody in Texas is so scared. Hopefully that won't happen here. We shall see. Holy crap, look at the time.
What do you mean it's let's go?
You know, time does fly when you're having fun.
Doesn't it?
I felt a lot like Sam on today's program. Sam from Starfleet Academy.
Why?
Because I kept glitching.
Oh yeah.
Now I know what it feels like to be a hologram.
The whole show. Yeah.
Right. Hey, so that's 2 hours of audio glitches and really, I mean, just fabulous stuff that if you weren't watching, you missed it. We call it the Daily Mojo on any given day, and it runs for 2 solid hours, today being the 20th day of February, the year of our Lord 2026. Over in the Rumble chat room, let's find out what was learned today. Airman 66 CES, I never had a teacher I would have wanted to have sex with. Most were nuns anyway. Yeah. You didn't, neither did you.
Most of our
I don't, there was one in junior high, and that was it.
Yeah.
But no, the rest of them, nope. Original Babe, most didn't even know where any teachers lived. That was the other thing. Yeah, for whatever reason, I was thinking about that the other day. Frank Ebner was my California history teacher, great teacher. And I thought, A, I wonder if he's still alive, and B, you never even, outside of school, you weren't even sure they existed.
Yeah. I
never, ever saw any of my teachers outside of school, ever. Like, never ran into one at a store. I'm starting to think they were holograms. I'm starting to think I may have grown up in a computer program. What is it? Wade says Barry McCockiner. That's a good day. Not my dog. Did you? Oh, that's sorry. I'm moving on over to X. I am so drunk. Over on the X, see, California drunk. James says, hey, real Brad Staggs, when left-wing stupidity meets international diplomatic immunity. Azerbaijan's presidential security personnel clashed with protesters in D.C. You know, it's...
None of that surprises
you cannot fix stupid is the problem.
You cannot.
It's a genetic defect, and it will require generations to breed it out. Hey, Beach Girl, hoping your mom is okay. She's over in the Daily Mojo First Amendment room. And Deb, thank you for being there. Lisa as well. Remember, we the people must hang together. Otherwise, we shall certainly hang separately. Sic Semper Tyrannis. Resist stupid. Oh, good night, Doc Thompson.
Wherever you are.
Watch and listen at thedailymojo.com.